I was just gonna say, where did my sunglasses go? Here they are. I'm just thinking to myself, should probably open up with a Braveheart medley, bit of a Braveheart medley, aye. I'm sorry, James Horner. We did it! We made it to 1K. Oh man, we are definitely live. Absolutely. We absolutely made it. Look at that beautiful number. 1K. 1K. Man, oh man, I actually made it. I actually made it to 1,000 subscribers, which means the vast majority of you actually care about what I have to say, and it makes me so happy. Oh man. It's just so amazing, so amazing. I just need to spread word more often because hopefully we'll have someone else join us. More people saying, "Congratulations, Calum, you actually did it!" I'd hope more people do it. In fact, let's get more family members in here. Bear with you guys. Let's see, this is unlikely to happen, but hey ho, to each their own. And then get her on, and let's see if we can invite. Should we? Well, sorry, just trying to see if who else was it. Well, whoever will join will join. Whoever will join will join. Que sera, sera. Hold on a minute. All right, hopefully we'll get more people joining in soon enough. All right, so we finally did it. We finally made it to 1K subscribers. And man, to quote that other song, we've come a long way from where we began. Man, to think I started all the way back in the 24th of August 2017. So this channel is what, like 6 years, and I'm very terrible at maths. It's approximately 6 years and like 9 months and fortnight or so old, something like that, give or take. All right, here we go. Yeah, the Giga Chat face, I've been sending the link to this live stream to other people, and my good friend Josh just giving me the Giga Chat face. You know, just that awesome smiley masculine face. What's not to love about a Giga Chat face? Hey, thanks, Jarv. Thank you so much, Jarv. That's how you're supposed to say thank you so much, Jarv. Thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. I say music because Jarv's a music man. I wonder who else would be willing to join us. Someone's going to join us sooner or later. I just know it. I just knew it. I knew it. Knew it. Knew it. Knew it. Let's give it a while. Someone might join us, and we'll get started with the whole Q&A sessions. The Q&A session. Well, hopefully we'll have future Q&A sessions. Congrats! Yes. The people on the Discord server I'm on saying congratulations. You're gonna apply for part. Oh yeah. That's gonna be epic. I get the chance to do so. Feel free to hop on and say hi. Come on, let's get the party started. Let's get it started. Yeah. Man, I actually made it. I actually did it. Yes! I did it. I'm so happy that I actually did it. Yes. Oh man. For all the tough stuff that I've been through, for all the hard times, just this moment right here, all worth it. It's all worth it in the end. All right. Usually these live streams start off with like one people or so, but let's say, oh wait, did I mention them? I don't think I did. Hold on a minute. All right, maybe this will get people's attention. I have been sharing the link prior to establishing this video, so I guess whilst we're waiting for more people to join. I don't care. I remember you. Yes, you remember me. Do you remember me? Have we met each other somewhere before? Huh? You look kind of familiar. Have we met? You made my Nintendo Switch vibrate. Yes, that guy. I remember I made a sound kind of like. We were playing Fall Guys. I was on my PlayStation 5. He was on his Nintendo Switch. The handheld console. Due to my voice being the way that you were funny. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the compliment. I thrive with that sort of thing. Man, I really appreciate all the laughs, all the compliments I've been getting. All for good Lord, over a good cause. All right. Hopefully we'll get more people around soon enough, but we're just here to celebrate 1K subscribers! I actually did it! And to think, 7 years ago, I never would have thought I even made it this far, but I did it! And about 1,000 or so people actually care about what I have to say, what I have to provide. And oh my days, I've come this far and I'm looking so much to it. There's several questions that let's see. Yes, here are the questions. I've encouraged people to ask me questions, and I've got the questions right here. Just sorting out stuff. Yeah. I will get to the questions that my followers have provided. Aha! Yay! Brooks has joined us! I did it, buddy! I did it! And not me yet. Yeah, you'll get there. It'll take time, but you'll get there. By the way, everybody, subscribe to my friend Brooks Gallinghouse's YouTube channel, Squid Bear's Personal Productions. He is, as we speak, just above 950 subscribers. He needs 50 more subscribers. So you, the person named I Don't Care, go to Squid Bear's channel now. You'll get, if you like my stuff, you'll really enjoy Brooks's channel. He makes much better shorts than me, and in far. Congratulations. Yeah. Where are you planning to take the channel from here? Good question, Evan. Good question. Okay, here comes the party. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. So I don't care if you guys, if you haven't subscribed to my friend Brooks Gallinghouse from Squid Bear Studio, please feel free to do so, because he does some great stuff. He's done like gameplays on science fiction games like Cyberpunk 2077. He makes some video essays and philosophical themed videos on stuff like Attack on Titan, Attack of the Clones, My Hero Academia, and all kinds of stuff like that. Firecracker. Hey, the Firecracker from Fall Guys. Oh man, my Fall Guys crowd is here. I'm so glad I took the time to play Fall Guys. It's such a fun game. Thanks so much, Firecracker. Oh man. Anyway, might as well get the Q&A session started. Because people are coming in, and Evan Prince here has asked the first question. Well, he's not the first to ask the question. People have been asking me questions beforehand, but you know what? I'll address bad mic, great editing. Maybe you get yourself some of those foam those foam boards and then record in a cupboard. But hey, it's not the most terrible mic quality, Brooks. But yeah, do subscribe to Brooks's channel nonetheless. He's got great stuff. You just need an SM7B/. Listen to Evan Brooks. I do MVs also. Yes, he does MVs. Also, if you are a big fan of seinen manga, Brooks is a fanatic for that sort of thing, whether it be Vinland Saga, Berserk mainly, although he's yet to get into the monster series. He does like Vagabond also. Things you shouldn't search on YouTube, Rabbit Hole Deco 17. Noted, I will not search up Rabbit Hole Deco 17. Sure, SM7V for the mic. It's expensive, but content creation is highly competitive. Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of that is the most weirdest animation. Duly noted. Yeah, and a cab make a mean meme. Oh yeah, I can make a mean meme. Oh yeah, Squid Bear makes lots of memes. He's even dedicated. He's made lots of memes. Brooks is really talented with making memes. You check him out. Are you plugging all our channels? Yeah. Just why not? Firecracker, you're a fun Fall Guys guy. Might as well promote you. Go subscribe to him. Good music, good animation. Right. I'll address Evan Prince's question. Where are you planning to take the channel from here? There is so much I have planned for this channel. The thing about my lifestyle is that I'm just such a creative person. There's always something that I'm doing in my mind. There's never a moment where I think, oh, I'm absolutely bored and I don't know what to do. No. There's always something on my mind, something to review, or some game to play, or some video that I've been meaning to do, or something like that. Next Fall Guys stream, can you make my Ninja Switch vibrate? I'm happy to do so again. Don't take that sexually. There's a lots of videos I've been meaning to make. I've been meaning to make more recommendation kind of videos. I want to recommend stuff like the Monster series. Whether it be in the manga or the anime. No, FR, where is the channel headed? What kind of content? Yeah, I'm intending to do more reviews, more stuff I want to recommend. And I've also been intending to make more animations. I've been coming up with some great ideas on what could make for some great animations. I've been thinking of maybe doing more videos where I read books. Those were kind of fun. I've got this one fun idea in mind, but I'm not gonna give away what it is because some more book reading, more entertainment recommendations, more animations. What about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Oh yeah. My friend Brooks has been getting me to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've had several videos. I've been making a new subgenre of like review video called ScotsThinker Suggestions, where I get a friend who suggests something, and then I watch it. Brooks has been suggesting to me the John Wick series, so I made a video on that. Another friend's been recommending I watch Black Swan. I've yet to actually watch it, but I'll get to it. So yes, me and Brooks at some point in the future are going to make a video where we talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Parts 5 and 6. Man, stuff that we've seen. Good music to listen to this guy right here. All right. I don't care. Is promoting the channel. Nice. I got an idea for you to check it out on Discord. All right. Nice. Gojo, or Jojo. He's talking about Jojo. Not necessarily Mojo Jojo, but Gojo Jojo. Mojo Jojo. Mojo Jojo endorses JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So yeah, more basically more reviews, more book readings, more animations. Hopefully, when I get the chance to do that sort of thing. Domain expansion, yeah, domain expansion, yeah. Especially now that I've got 1K subscribers. Oh, there's an idea. Brooks has given me an idea, but I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't like giving away surprises. That's the only part on there. No. Right. Okay, so now that I've got enough of a crowd, might as well start answering the big questions. The big questions. Big questions. Okay, so on my Discord server, my friend Super Sam has asked me several questions. The first question he's asked me is, what is your life like in Scotland? My life in Scotland is fairly it will be interesting in your eyes. Life in Scotland is I would imagine pretty much like a lot of places over at the west, but of course, being Scotland, it has its particular quirks and perks. So, and of course, every place has its upsides and downsides. So here in Scotland, our major ups is that the air is mostly pretty fresh, you know, because we're up north, and the water is also very fresh. Some of the freshest water you'll get in the world is in Scotland. So very nice fresh stuff. Like one time, I actually was out walking with a group of people. And of course, you know, there's still plenty of murky waters and sort of marshlands and stuff like that. But there's this one place up north where we went across a literal fresh spring. That was great. That was amazing. If you take the time to go around Scotland, it's you'll see a lot of grassy lands, forests here and there, but there's definitely a lot of hills. And you'll definitely see lots of mountains, especially the mountains that are called Munros, which are these Corrie mountains, which go above a certain height. I suppose you could say that Scotland is like a lesser New Zealand when it comes to the mountain range that goes across. Like I even climb some of these mountains some of the time. I admittedly get a bit of vertigo, but I climb them nonetheless because it's fairly therapeutic. The scenery is definitely something to admire. There's a reason why even historical figures in the past have admired like Scotland's landscape beauty, and it's certainly been the inspiration for some of my own landscape art that I do on my other channel. Especially the landscape that you get from the Hebrides, which is what my lineage comes from. Because over at the Hebrides, there's these big beaches, and the most beautiful beach is Luscantire Beach in Harris. That is a beach that just goes on for miles, and the horizon's just... think of it like a Florida beach, but not as busy. I suppose what are the downsides? Like, of course, being in the modern Western age, there's still plenty of, you know, the woke clowns that we have to tolerate with. But thankfully, there was this one politician who was trying to promote a hate crime law, but so many people were calling him out that could ruin free speech and make the Orwellian dystopia. And he got kicked out of politics. So there's some good news for once. You can now make money. Yeah. So overall, life in Scotland, I like it here in Scotland. I love it. I love it. I know that there's a lot of hypocrisies going on over here, but I love this country. I love it. When will you be starting your fitness journey and documenting it? That's a good question, Evan. That is a very good question. I mean, thankfully, I have been recording a lot of my sessions going to the gym with a gym tutor. I mean, I've been going to the gym beforehand, especially like before and during the pandemic, but I was encouraged to get a tutor. And people watching, if you're going to go to the gym, I would highly recommend getting a gym tutor if you get the chance. Socrates believed you had to be fit to be a thinker. Yeah. I remember hearing Jordan Peterson say something like that, where he said that if you get fit and exercise may not increase your IQ, but exercise can decrease the degradation of your physical well-being. So that does play a part in making your IQ last longer. Just don't to get swole, don't just be fit, get massive 8. Oh yeah. Evan Prince, you got a bit of competition here because my friend Brooks Gallinghouse has got himself quite familiar with Friedrich Nietzsche. Okay, tell you what, since you want a massive 8, how about this? Abs! Oh yeah! Come on! Oh yeah! Nietzsche also believed in being fit, super soldier and all that. Ubermensch, yeah. And with that, Brooks and Evan have a conversation that will make them friends. I just know it. Because I'm getting myself familiar with those two. Get huge. Oh, I'm already huge. I am. Hold on a minute. I'm literally 6'5" tall. I'm pretty tall. Like. There's a disadvantage to being this tall. You're more likely to bump your head on stuff. I envy you, smaller people. I envy you in a way because you smaller people don't have to worry about hitting your head so much. Not to mention, on the buses, on the trains, it's not so cramped for you people. But people like me are like, this is getting uncomfortable. Very tall, but all the more room for Jack Reacher looks. Oh yeah, the Alan Richardson kind of looks. Yeah, really buff, big guy. People said that they could not visually adapt Reacher for years. The closest they got was Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise is nowhere near the mass of Alan Richardson. And then Alan Richardson comes along, and it's really impressive how Alan Richardson can intimidate people just by being there in person, which really makes the character work. It's really genius in that way. I did see the first season of Reacher. I enjoyed it. Will you be going for Alan's vibe? If that works, then yeah. Brooks is 5'8". All right, there we go. What height are you at? Just out of curiosity. All right, what was the be saying to me? That's only far. No, you won't need. Do you think you'll lose subscribers? Just need to know. I don't care. I've had occasions where I think, oh, I got a new subscriber, yay! Only to then have them unsubscribe like a day later, and I think, you were either going to stay or go. You can't pick both. Like, you'll get the occasional person who subscribes at first but then just leaves. Like that happens, but you get used to that over time. 6 foot. All right. I'm 6 foot, so I'm 5 inches taller than. It's kind of funny because I play at Batman Arkham Knight, and I notice in the character descriptions, characters like Bruce Wayne and all these other characters are like 6 foot tall, and I think to myself, hey, I'm slightly taller than them. I've said it before and I said it again. I understand the reason why Shaggy is so lean, even though he eats a lot, because he's constantly running. I have a cardio-based physique, so I've built myself, and I think am built for long distance running. I made a video in the past documenting my training for and during my Loch Ness marathon run. So there is that in regards to documenting my fitness routine. So that's a work in progress. Let's address the next question from Super Sam on Discord, which says, what is your favorite book and why? Ooh, that is a tough question. That is a hard question. I suppose, what do you mean by favorite book? I mean, do you mean non-fictional or fictional? Ooh, I mean, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I don't think I could pick one. I suppose at the very least I could pick several in no specific order. Let's go with fictional first. Any of the most Tolkien's books, like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, are just fantasy classics. Love those books. What's your favorite comic book? Ah, there's a good question, Firecracker. That's related to the question I'm answering just now. I would also love a Crime and Punishment. That's a brilliant book when it comes to understanding characters on a psychological basis. We're doing a comic being Calum. Yeah, that's right. That's another reason to subscribe to Squid Bear Studios, because Brooks and I are actually working on a comic together. Oh yeah. That's something I don't say very often, but since Brooks is so enthusiastic and keen on it, I might as well help with the promotion. I mean, I've got one in case I'm but I might as well. Also, it's a good fact. Yes! Woohoo! You're welcome, Brooks. Yeah, we're working on a sci-fi comic based on a lot of stuff that we love. Okay, so Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Crime and Punishment, great for psychoanalytical character study, brilliant for character analysis. That's a great book. I've also admired A Monster Calls. I really like that book. I even dedicated a series of videos reading that book. That was just a brilliantly imaginative book on how to deal with grief. There was also I enjoyed reading the Screw Tape Letters. I dedicated a video series on that. Let's see, the Narnia series, great books. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, using only pictures and words, but it's very thought-provoking and stuff like that. Firecracker, you mentioned favorite comic books. I've got them right here, actually. And I mentioned them with Bast, actually. My favorite comic series, if you will, in terms of Japan, this is one of my favorites, Vinland Saga. This is a brilliantly thought-provoking historical epic narrative, which it seems like a typical Viking revenge story at first, but this whole series goes through so many twists and turns, and there's such brilliant. There's beeping outside for some reason. Such brilliant character development, especially with Thorfinn here, who starts off as the typical sort of angry young kid, but oh my days, there's so much development between him and the villainous character Ashenlad or Askeladd. He's one of the best antagonistic characters I've ever read about. It's all brilliantly combined together in a sort of mixture between history and the sort of fantasization of history, which it's kind of funny. That's actually kind of how ancient history is documented anyway. Other favorite books of mine, the Monster series that I mentioned earlier, that's another favorite of mine. I would even compare this series to Crime and Punishment. It has a very similar approach to a psychological character analysis like Fyodor Dostoevsky would do in Crime and Punishment. I've already described the basic premise in a previous live stream, but since so many people are here, I might as well mention it again. 20th century Germany, Japanese neurosurgeon Kenzo Tenma is at the height of his career, but comes across a difficult choice of whether or not he should save a mayor or a boy with a bullet wound to his head. Due to getting ticked off with the hospital politics, he saves the boy, but the boy grows up to be a psychopathic killer. And Kenzo Tenma is a fugitive on the run and has to hunt down the killer Johann Liebert in a game of cat and mouse. The mystery is really enthralling. The mystery gets you hooked, and it does manage to satisfy the major answers. Getting ticked off or ticked off. I meant ticked off. Sorry, did I not pronounce that correctly? Well, it's inspired. Yeah, it's inspired. It's a really great story. There's some really thought-provoking stuff in there. It's a great cautionary message about the dangers of eugenics, as well as this challenging question of if death is where we all go, then what's the point? And the counter argument to that is we ought to treat each other equally because everyone has innate worth in them. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back after this. Back to this. Other favorite stories of mine. I mean, I liked Holes. Holes was another. There's another more beeping outside. This is a fun read. Holes is a pretty fun read. I guess there's others I could mention, but I guess those are the ones that come to my mind first and foremost. Oh yeah. Favorite comics. Another favorite of mine, Batman: The Killing Joke. This is a classic when it comes to comic book storytelling. So much so it's deeply impacted the Batman mythos, as well as future adaptations of the Batman. I mean, it even says it right here. Tim Burton says, "I love The Killing Joke. It's my favorite. It's the first comic I've ever loved." And Tim Burton blatantly references The Killing Joke in his Batman movies, though. That's how much of an influence it's had. Alan Moore hates this book and regrets writing it. Wow, really? Really? What's to hate about this book? It's a brilliant book. Yeah, maybe it's just Alan Moore's. Maybe it's just his inner perfectionism or something. I mean, to be fair, he has some excellent advice on how to do writing in a way, because he's had this masterclass advertising, and Brooks can quote him on this, where you have to deliberately watch or look at bad stories so that you can know how to make good ones. Alan Moore hates Watchmen and all that stuff. He hates his own stories? Then why does he even write them? I'm sounding like Heath Ledger's Joker. You don't like your stories? No. Then why do you write like him? So, you think you make your stories a better place? Anyway, no, he feels like he forced Batman into being written in a dark way. That's all right. That's the joke. Like after his own book, other Batman content end up being dark. Okay, so perhaps it's not so much his own input, but how others have tried to imitate him. Yeah, I can understand, but the dark tone works so well for Batman. It just does. I mean, beforehand he was just, the cheesy Adam West guy. I mean, nothing wrong with the Adam West guy, but so many people prefer the dark tone for good reason. Maybe he doesn't like the mainstream attention or something. He's a weird dude. Dark Knight's Returns is like a billion times better anyway. All right. I've yet to read that anyway, so I'm sure. But anyway, there's so many great stories in the Batman stories anyway, but this one definitely explores the relationship between the protagonist and the antagonist, and the ending sequence. Frank Miller's like Alan Moore, but not stupid and insufferable. Okay, duly noted, Evan. There's so many brilliant creative segues. Like, I really admire the way that how certain scenes transition. Like, you'll have certain characters in specific poses, and then it transitions to the present day where they're posed in the same way. And it's interesting because Joker himself explains, even I don't know where I came from. For all we know, this could be completely made up. But if the Joker had a backstory, this would be the one that makes the most sense for his motivations, his psyche, and the way he views his outcome in the world. I'll get to that question further. That ending for the ending of The Killing Joke is one of the most profound endings I've ever read. The Joker rants on about how he views everything as nihilistically meaningless, but then Batman barges in and says, actually, people do have the willpower to overcome their inner demons. You were just too cowardly to see that. They fight, and then Batman has to explain. Batman actually invites him to rehabilitation, but in Joker's words, what do you think I am, crazy? You turned it off when I was halfway across. Some really brilliant character analysis. What other stories do I like? Oh yeah, this one. This was a birthday gift I got. Shuna's Journey, made by Hayao Miyazaki. This is quite an interesting fantasy story about this young boy. It's his farmlands are dying, so he has to go out elsewhere to help people, and basically he gets help from other people, and quite a touching and fairly atmospheric story. Of course, it's made by Hayao Miyazaki. He's a fantasy master. Other stories. There's a wide range I should probably get reading. Oh yeah. Here's one I've been really admiring lately. Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. This is quite an interesting psychological dive into the kind of darkness that humanity is capable of. Let's see other books I've admired. I think I've mentioned the whole bulk of them anyway. I love that book. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Wrote a huge essay on it in college. Oh wow! Made the whole class hate me. Hate you because of envy of how good it was, or because of how much truth you were saying? Because there's a lot of truth in Heart of Darkness that a lot of people are uncomfortable with. Anyway, whilst you're writing that down, I might as well answer Firecracker's question. Do you have a favorite Marvel comic story or character, or are you a DC fan specifically? I'll need to read. I need to read more comic books to answer that question, to be honest. I'm more of I watch a lot of animated films. I'm not really the big comic book kind of person. I really need to read more comics to find that out. Will you be reacting to my upcoming performance of Spider-Man? And fan of Craven the gladly. I would gladly do so. Evan Prince also does some voice work, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, he performed as Nightwing in a Batman comic. I think I've still to actually watch that, but he's got some pretty talented work for him. I'll probably need to react to that even. Red Robin, that's what it was. He voiced Red Robin, that's what it was. Thanks for reminding me. Let's address my friend Super Sam's next question. Oh yeah, I suppose non-fictional books. Non-fictional books. It's so little time. And Spider-Man and Spider-Man Homecoming, coming home. Ooh, all right. I'll need to watch that sometime. Spider-Man Coming Home. Right. Right. Also up to him too. I've made fan films like Spider-Man. Motion comics I'm in are on the Russian Comic Book Geek channel. Russian Comic Book Geek. Got it. The Russian. It's just as well. I made this live stream. Comic Book Geek. All right. Here we go. All right. I'll try to find the stuff later. Next question. What do you like the most about philosophy? Pretty simple. It enlightens people. It brings them out of ignorance. And it shows people the truth. That's what I love most about philosophy. It enlightens people, and it encourages people to make a productive difference in their lives. In fact, depending on what kind of philosophy it is, it can really encourage you to make self-improvement in your life. And that's what I'm going to do with this channel. this channel started off with just simple fun entertainment like voice impressions and things like that. But as the years went by, I gradually realized there's so much I'm learning, and I actually want to help people with what I'm learning. So it's been a mixture of enlightenment and entertainment, I guess. What I admire most about philosophy is it brings people to truth and self-improvement. That's what I admire most about it. Or in C.S. Lewis's words, we learn good philosophy so that we can avoid bad philosophy. Super Sam's next question and final question that I asked me was, any hobbies or stuff you're interested in? Well, I mean, this channel I'm working on is kind of a hobby enough itself. Although I always liked to draw when I get the chance. I certainly like reading when I get the chance. What's a good example for draw? Tell you what, be right back. Let's see. Where do I keep the drawing? Let's see. Might as well scale this out. Let's see. Enjoy painting and stuff like that. Certainly enjoy drawing and painting. If you want to see some of my art stuff, go to my other channel called Calum Macritchie Art. In fact, let's see if I can get you the link. I've got the link down in my channel anyway. But in case I can, let's see. Pardon me. All right. Let's see. Does this work? I think that worked. Yep. All right. I've just given you the link to my art channel. So it's basically the vast majority of what I did during college. I currently have a bachelor's degree in contemporary art practices. So there you go. I have here, do you guys in Scotland have a favorable opinion on the royal family? That depends on which member of the royal family you're talking about. I mean, the vast majority of people loved Queen Elizabeth II. I mean, someone reminded me there was some kind of controversy surrounding her, but apart from that, the vast majority of people love her. The other family members, with some exceptions, right now are fairly incompetent. There's a reason why South Park made fun of Meghan and Markle. We want privacy! We want privacy! Leave us alone! Leave us alone! Yeah, it depends on which family members you're talking about. Here's some other stuff I was doing for my friend Squid Bear's channel. Yeah, I made some art for the Squid Bear Studios in the past, based on some of my friends' favorite franchises, which include, but are not limited to, Persona 5, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, and Star Wars: The Old Republic 1 and 2. Also got Master Chief in there, and got Rex, and got Iron Man in there. Also got Optimus Prime and All Might in there. Yes, I actually did draw these. I do some painting too. Here's a painting I made a while back. It's the character Violet Evergarden standing amongst the red poppy fields. And as you know, the red poppies are a visual symbol of commemoration for the soldiers who died at war. And if you understand the story of this character, you'll understand perfectly why she would be in this particular picture in this specific manner. And another picture I made, and would be this one. I made this one because Hideo Kojima really loves the Violet Evergarden series. And I'm one of the few YouTubers who actually covered that topic. The way these paintings go is that I start off with the pencil drawing, and then I work on a base layer. Sometimes it could be as simple as putting in various types of blue, like dark blue, or just very basic darks, and then gradually, layer by layer, working on them and improving on them as I go, and then adding in more texture with even more layers. It helps to go from dark gradually to light. And my uncle, who worked on oil and canvas paintings, which is pretty difficult to work with. He told me, never use black. Always go with some kind of variation. So instead of, say, using black, you use like dark browns or very dark blues or dark grays or stuff like that, because pay attention to the visual symbols. You'll find that the colors is never just one color. Like, take this t-shirt, for example. He's like, oh, well, it's royal blue, but due to the lighting and even the depth of the texture itself, you'll notice there's a bit of white or maybe a tad bit of maybe a tinge of purple here. Or how about my hair? There's some, it's described as strawberry blonde, so it's not sort of blonde, but anyway, you'll notice blonde, you'll notice white, maybe some browns, even there, maybe a bit of orange. You know, it's never just one color. It's a series of colors, and that's where you get the richness and the texture from. Anyway, have you been noticing a ton of subscribers coming from certain videos or topics? Curious about what was the way people found you. Yeah, I've noticed that throughout my channel's history, some videos I was completely surprised by their success, but looking back, I just think, yeah, it makes sense as to why they were successful. I suppose going on my videos and going to my most popular options, I can look at certain videos and I can pinpoint, yeah, it was some of those videos where I got a boost in subscribers. So, like, going from my oldest, I started off fairly basic. My voice impressions was fairly beloved, very basic stuff, just some like primitive Overwatch gameplay or me being goofy and silly and showing off my stuff, voice work. And I was, after a certain video, I made a Samurai Jack inspired animation based on an event that was off screen. And I was amazed at the boost in views and comments that I got, even to this day. It's my most popular video on this channel to this day. And I got a boost in subscribers from that. I noticed my voice impressions videos also contributed to me getting more subscribers over time. Another video that I could pinpoint, yeah, this is what got me a boost in subscribers, was my first video reviewing this very fascinating series called The Chosen. This is a TV series, and I've been reviewing the whole series more or less episode by episode. But the first season was being promoted as this really impressive crowd fundraised project. And usually projects like that can be very cheesy and can really show their quality. But this series was really good with its writing, as well as how it approached a new way of telling that specific story that has been told so many times, but it found a refreshing way of telling that story again. So I covered that, and then I noticed, oh, this other YouTuber's noticed, and then before I know it, oh, the creator of the show has actually seen the video on Facebook, and now he's sharing it with all these other people. All these people are sharing the video around, and I literally made a video of me reacting like, what? I got hundreds of subscribers, like tens of them, just from that one video, and I'm still amazed that happened. I guess a more recent video that got a lot of popularity. Okay, maybe not that one. I suppose looking at my more popular videos, I think there was one where I talked about how Miyazaki critiqued Tolkien, and I gave a more balanced approach by saying, oh, actually, Miyazaki and Tolkien have a lot in common. And I encouraged my friend Malika from Malika Writes to make a video about the topic, and she covered the topic from the perspective of how Miyazaki doesn't actually understand Tolkien's writings because she herself is a very literate person. Another video I could say I got a lot of views. I mean, mainly my voice impressions videos, especially my Toy Story videos. Oh yeah. My videos covering Violet Evergarden, especially videos where I unbox the collector's editions and other stuff like that. I'd say those got me more subscribers. Especially, I've noticed some attention with me analyzing is Violet Evergarden autistic, and me covering like the grounds on which I could base those kind of claims. Some of my philosophical stuff has got me plenty of subscribers. Like that one time I talked about Willibald from Vinland Saga, as well as one of my more recent ones regarding Kung Fu Panda. There was also videos covering The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. That seems to have gotten a lot of good attention. Let's see. I'd say those are the vast majority of videos where I got the most significant boosts in subscribers. And so, what's your favorite MCU film? Ooh. That is a very good question. Thank you very much, Firecracker. That is a very, very good question. Ah, man. I mean, the series has been it's something we all grew up with and beloved by generations, but definitely the MCU's definitely lost its quality after Endgame, with very few MCU entries acting as a solemn, bittersweet epilogue to what happened in Endgame. So you got stuff like Spider-Man No Way Home and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and maybe a case could be made for stuff like Falcon and Winter Soldier, but even then, those TV shows were fairly flawed. I mean, if you're going to watch stuff post Endgame, you pretty much might as well just watch No Way Home and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and then just end it there. Black Panther 2 was decent. I've made a review video of Black Panther 2. It's nowhere near as good as the first one, but even then, the first one was pretty overhyped. I get the excitement about Africans being represented in a major superhero film like that. Yeah, I get it. But people, you have to realize, just because a certain group is being celebrated and endorsed, that doesn't mean they escape the accountability of telling a good quality story. I mean, Black Panther still had some rather questionable CGI that looks straight out of an early PlayStation 3 game rather than a high budget movie. Overrated. It was good, but nothing amazing. Yeah. Not to mention, T'Challa as a character already had the vast majority of his character development from Captain America Civil War. He doesn't really get much character growth in his own movie, which is kind of a missed opportunity. So yeah, the first Black Panther movie, it's good, but it's definitely overrated. Not to say it's bad, just it's overrated. But Black Panther 2, that was definitely a lesser film, but oh my days, Black Panther 2 was, at least it was nothing compared to Thor Love and Thunder. Just, why does that movie exist? Namor was if you have to watch my video in order to get that joke. Namor was more interesting in the villain, but Black Panther 1 was better. I don't know. The Black Panther 1 villain was definitely more interesting, but hey, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, back to the question: most interesting MCU villain. The most interesting MCU film. Certainly, a lot of the hype comes from when the Avengers characters actually get together. But whether they get together or not, the thing that made the MCU work as a series was its ability to develop characters, not just in the case of their respective movies, but also over time. It was really satisfying to see them grow, learn from their mistakes, and constantly upgrade themselves to take on bigger threats, or figuring out relationships and figuring out the implications of the impact of several prior events. And each film more or less stood out in its own right. I mean, modern MCU requires you to do your homework to keep up with half the stuff these days, but most of the films in the previous MCU entries mostly stood out on their own right. So what would be the best MCU movie? I don't think I could pick a definitive favorite. I mean, certainly any of the Avengers movies themselves, they're definitely lots of fun. They're really big. Of course, I'd say Infinity War and Endgame is definitely the peak of their achievement, like a decade's worth of investment and storytelling, and it all paid off excellently. Yeah, I mean, I've had friends of mine say that Infinity War and Endgame still got their flaws. Like, why didn't Doctor Strange like cut off the hand of that one monster the same way he did with the other one earlier? Or why couldn't they do this or that? Or why couldn't they do this or that? Other things like that. There's a lot of questionable stuff, but on the whole, you still understood the gravitas of the story, and definitely Thanos makes himself really impactful as a villain. Even with the fact that he actually won, and there was a scene that had me and others bawling in tears. And then Endgame was such an epic finale. Endgame is one of the big epics of cinema history, up there with Ben-Hur and Return of the King. It was that big, and it beat Avatar at the box office. So yeah, pretty big stuff. So other favorite MCU films. I really liked Captain America: Civil War. I remember comparing that with Batman versus Superman at the time, and thinking Civil War did it better because I know there's an extended edition of Batman versus Superman that Evan Prince could justify. Hold on a minute. Not yet. But Civil War, Captain America: Civil War does a great job of introducing a conflict, and unlike nowadays, it's a conflict where people have different sides, and you could understand the different sides. I would have taken Iron Man's side, but I completely understand why Captain America takes the side that he does. In fact, I think Vision perfectly sums up my opinion of the whole situation. Like, Captain Rogers, I understand what you think you're doing is for good, but this has to stop. Yeah, pretty much. There's a really great airport scene. This film introduces several new characters, and they all have excellent development in the span of that film. And it's a great thought-provoking film about responsibility and impact, and how we should apply the power. It's really a great film. Other favorite MCU films. I mean, all of them are great in their own way. I suppose I quite like the Guardians of the Galaxy series. I think that's been one of the only series of superhero films in the franchise that has actually stayed consistent in terms of its good quality. I would. Okay, I've got other questions. There was a question from people from Instagram, and I'm just going to do the Instagram questions now. So let's see the Instagram questions. Where was it? Oh, yes. So Ollie Wright asks, can we talk about how to grow your YouTube channel with more organic people? Is that what he said? Yes. I've got a screwdriver. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Brooks. I'm trying to just keep things at a low level. It's okay. You didn't know. Where was it? Yes, here we go. Can we talk about how to grow your YouTube channel up with organic people? This was asked by Ollie Wright on Instagram. I suppose with organic people, nowadays you got these trends on YouTube where you could buy subscribers, you can buy stuff like that. You could buy stuff like that. So it's fairly intriguing as to how that sort of thing could be done. I mean, the fact that you have to save up money for that sort of thing, or maybe the way you use ads, but I suppose the way you win people over organically is, first of all, you bring up the fact that you're making a YouTube channel with your friends and family. And even as embarrassing as it can be to get a like and a comment from, like, say, your mom or something like that, just that kind of tension is good enough as it is. But then depending on your social circles, depending on the content of channel you're making, I would say the best way to grow your YouTube channel organically would be to stick around the kind of people who would aspire for similar virtues and are interested in the same things. You hang around those kind of social circles, and then you promote your videos on there, and then they'll watch it, and then they'll share it with their friends and family, and so on and so forth. Also, the fact that you make certain content, especially if it's unique content that not many people have seen before, then they'll share it with other people and other people and other people and other people. So it's a combination of community, as well as taking advantage of unique concepts while you can, as well as giving yourself some reason to stand out, because competition is quite rough on YouTube. So you got to find reasons to keep it going. So that's my answer to that question. The next question from someone on Instagram. This is my friend Yashkataria from Instagram, asking, how do you cope with stress and anxiety? Right. What's your Instagram account? Oh, I'll give it to you. Let me guess. You have Instagram too? That'll be fun to have you there. I put my Instagram on private because there's all those jerks who keep sending porn, and I just no, what, why would I want that? Just no. Let's see, copy the link. Okay, hopefully this works. If not, but let's see if this works. Okay, right. Calum underline Macritchie underline XD. That's my main Instagram account that I use. And oh, it's not coming up. I tell you what, I'll type it in. I shall type it in. Underscore Macritchie underscore XD. There you go. If you're curious about my Instagram account, there it is. Yash Kataria asks, how do I deal with stress and anxiety? The way I deal with stress and anxiety, it's something that takes time to learn, but the end result is absolutely worth it. Because life's going to throw a lot of curveballs at you, and it's going to be a lot of stress and anxiety. You likely would have grown up thinking life's going to be simple and easygoing, but you end up with a series of events that really throws a curveball at you, and you get afraid, and there's definitely misfirings in the brain that can happen. And the brain, like any other physical organ, is prone to being afflicted. Of course, like, I believe there's a difference between like mind and brain, because think of it like the user using the computer. Like, the brain is the computer, and the user is, us using the computer, because if it was, of course, but that's getting off topic. How do I deal with stress and anxiety? How would I deal with it? It's a matter of seeing things in perspective, and then making the most of the situation. Certainly, breathing deeply would help. So, like, if I start to feel like physically sick for some reason or something like that, I would say, like breathe in for like, give it like 11 seconds and then breathe out for 11 seconds. Like, because if I was actually sick, then I wouldn't be able to breathe deeply like that. So, or to tell myself, calm down, calm down, calm down. Although there's certain things that can happen when it comes to anxiety. Usually when it comes to anxiety, your thinking is distorted. So when you try to argue back against anxiety, usually the anxiety gets worse. But if you actually know the truth about a certain situation, you have an anxious thought that goes counter to that, you could like you'll get the reaction like but the brave thing to do would be to acknowledge it and then just let it pass on by. But people who are not trained in this sort of thing will think, what does this mean? What is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, I gotta do something. I gotta do something. Ah, panic, panic, panic. And lift weights and feel no longer anxious. Certainly exercise helps, but there's certainly other mental things that can help. Like certainly a change in attitude, as well as training yourself to confront these fears. Because coping with anxieties, it's a case of facing your fears. You got to take a bold step. I was thinking about the DreamWorks film Rise of the Guardians, and I find this really inspiring line from one of the child characters confronting the villain. He says, all right, I believe you, but I'm just not afraid of you anymore. That's the stance you need to take against your fears. I acknowledge you, but I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I'm not obeying fear anymore. I'm done. We're done. And I was not in a mentally stable state of mind during 2021 to 2022. There's been quite some heartbreak and anxiety, and that can really mess with your mind. But the first key to acknowledging that is knowing you're not alone. You have to remember that you're not alone. You gotta stay motivated, as Evan Prince is saying. If you're still anxious, return to the gym, repeat until anxiety is gone, or you become so fatigued that it becomes irrelevant. Yeah, I maybe I should try that sometime. Exercise and dominate people kids in Fortnite. Yeah, I guess something like that. It's certainly a skill that takes time to learn, but if you're willing to take the journey, then you'll be able to defeat your anxiety over time. And that's the thing. A lot of people who suffer from anxious symptoms, they want their situation solved right now. Come on, give me the answer now. Come on, give me the answer now. But the problem is, if you're to give these kinds of people a direct answer to the questions they're spinning in anxiety about, they'll think, oh, I'm relieved now. Oh, but what about this thing? Oh, get the answer. Oh, okay. Oh, but what about this thing? What about this? But what if? So it's this never-ending chronic self-analysis, and you're constantly examining yourself. You're trying to make sure that every single possible thing is 100% certain. So you hesitate to do stuff. You think, and it can be pretty stress-inducing. So you try to think, oh, I got to, okay, found the answer. But then you get this sort of condemning thought, and it could really, but in those kind of situations, the best approach would be to have someone to love you. It doesn't even have to be romantic, just love you. Because nurture helps to ground you and to calm you down. I've said it before and I said it again. I used to think Kierkegaard's concept of a leap of faith was absurd, but lately, more than ever, I've been finding that Kierkegaard's leap of faith has really been helping me get through my stress. Basically, the leap of faith is described as something that goes beyond your reasoning. I thought that was silly. Why would you reject your reasoning? But actually, that kind of mentality could work, because if you get too much in your head, then you'll be chasing all these anxieties, all this stuff, but it eventually gets distorted. And if you get an answer, then you think that this high intense question is the problem, but that's only a symptom. You end up chasing symptoms. You never actually get to the core of the issue. And to get to the core of the issue, you have to get grounded in your heart, and that involves relationship, and that can get really uncomfortable. It's if you get with the right people who are emotionally intelligent, they'll help to ground you. They help to talk things through, and to when they actually get to the core issue, then everything else becomes clear, and then you're able to think, okay, let's just go easy on yourself. That's another key to anxiety. Take it easy on yourself, because most of the time when people get anxious, they're actually really unkind to themselves. They're too harsh on themselves. Like, I heard this one YouTuber addressing these mental health issues by saying a lot of these anxiety sufferers grab them by the shirt. You are very unkind to yourself. You are very unkind to yourself. Oh, but I had this crazy thought. No, you are very unkind to yourself. Because if you were kind to yourself, you would actually just let the anxious thought just pass on by, and then just let it be. There's various methods that can help when it comes to confronting these anxious thoughts. Like you get attacked by an anxious thought. Oh no, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. One way of doing it, so I've heard, is, oh, look at the plane, look at the plane. What are you doing? You're disassociating yourself from the anxious thought. People make this mistake of, oh, this anxious thought says something about me. No, it doesn't. It's just a fear. You don't have to affiliate yourself with it. You can just view it as a plane. You're not on the plane. It's just, oh, look, there it is. There it is. Because oftentimes when you try to ignore it, it just gets bigger and it just gets worse. You just have to just acknowledge it's there and just let it pass on by. Another good tactic when it comes to anxious thoughts is, if you're confident in a certain truth, but you get attacked by anxious thoughts about it anyway, a good way to approach anxiety is to stand like a soldier. My sister's not very fond of this description of a soldier, but I think thinking like a soldier definitely helps solidify the kind of mentality that could solidify your stance on things. So you get this anxious thought coming at you, but you say, no, I'm not listening to fear. I'm going to stand. Because what are soldiers trained to do, especially when they're marching or they're told to go into position? They're told to just stand there, but there'll be hecklers. There'll be people, accusing them and stuff like that. But the moment the soldier gives the heckler attention, then the heckler will never be done with the soldier. Like, even ancient thinkers would think this way. Like, never mind these troublesome thoughts, but if you pay attention to them, they'll never be done with you. So what you have to do when these anxious thoughts come along, you just stand, soldier. And this person I've been looking at online has been really good at describing it, and it's really just sort of changes your attitude towards anxious thoughts. Just stand, soldier. Oh, but I had this anxious thought. Stand, soldier. Yeah, but what about stand, soldier? Steady. It's attitudes like that really help you stand your ground when anxious thoughts come at you. Like, you should be like a thick tree with thick roots on the ground, not this thin thing that so easily sways with every bit of the storm. Yeah, the storms are there, but here's the thing about storms. They pass. The storms always pass. No matter how bad or how terrible the storms are. The storms always pass. They always do. I mean, I've been through storms in life. I mean, my friend, I've got friends of mine and I who've certainly been through storms. I'm not going to get into full details about them, but yes, we've been through storms in life. Maybe there'll come a time in the future where I describe them in full detail, but just to make a long story short, we've been through storms. I mean, all of us have been through storms in life. All of us have got a story to tell about times during the pandemic, some friend or loved one who got infected, or some really intense time during an exam, or some stressful thing that happened. Or maybe you went through some kind of breakup with a group of friends because you were trying to stand for something good. Or perhaps you had a rough upbringing. I had friends of mine who had professed to have like really rough upbringings. They want to do something to atone and to make amendments for that sort of thing. I suppose in light of my celebration, I was not in a very stable place during 2021 to 2022. I won't explain the full details, but it was a rough time. It was a really, really rough time. My view on things got really distorted. I got myself involved with a lot of legalistic ideas, combining that with these intense, anxious thoughts and some heartbreak I was going through at that time. Yeah, and this was still like during more or less around the pandemic time. And I was it's a thing where when you try to stand up for what's right, what's beautiful and stuff like that, you'll I suppose you'll get your hecklers and you'll be discouraged. It can be very discouraging. But thankfully, I've had several friends coming by to remind me I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Like it was very it was not the most popular thing to critique the woke crowd, but my friend Brooks Gallinghouse introduced me to the critical drinker, and that actually gave me hope. Thinking, wow, actually, there's a lot of people online who actually have something to say about the woke crowd and their hypocrisies and the way they're inputting some dangerous lessons into their storytelling. Like the woke crowd will say, "Oh, we're all in it for female empowerment." Okay, that's great, but then they go to the exaggeration of saying, "Well, women are even better than men, and men are absolutely pathetic." Like, whoa, hang on a minute. Wouldn't a more balanced perspective be that men and women each have their strengths that we can work with each other from? That would be a more balanced perspective. To quote Ian Malcolm, life cannot be contained. Right. My friend Brooks here has been introduced me to the critical drinker when I was at my low point, and from there we got introduced to other similar thinking critics who were not afraid to talk against the woke crowd, like Reaper and other things like that. I even made a video combining clips of Reaper and critical drinker, and to me and Brooks' surprise, Reaper actually commented on one of those videos. And I'm surprised that I got the attention, but hey, that's what happens when you put in the what do you call it, the @ link, the @ link key to get the attention of certain YouTubers. I mean, that was gonna happen eventually. I'd imagine with bigger YouTubers, they think, "Oh, so many people mentioned me. Okay, who cares? I've got so much on my mind." But with smaller, lesser known YouTubers, they would the tag. Yes, thank you, Firecracker. That's the one. The tag. Yes. I noticed these critics. Yeah, the @ for being tagged. Thank you. Yes. So those kind of critics are not afraid to address the hypocrisy of the storytelling. Like, take Black Panther 2, for example. I would love for Reaper to review Freud's last session. Oh yeah. Freud's last session is a very impressive, thought-provoking philosophical film. Involves these two thinkers of the 20th century, C.S. Lewis and Sigmund Freud, talking to each other about life in general. Something like that. Anyway, that was Freud's last session. I think I'm going to sleep hate-free tonight. Like, so with Black Panther 2, for example, in some previous MCU entries prior, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, like the American government's been criticized for some risky business when it comes to the way they subjugate others. But for some reason, Wakanda can get away with the exact same thing because Wakanda forever. Is that your real voice? Oh my days! I just remembered. I reviewed the first part of He-Man, Masters of the Universe Revelations. That has to be the most cringiest example of the strong female character that the woke love to adore these days. Like, strong female characters done right would be the likes of Ellen Ripley, Eowyn, Galadriel, Sarah Connor, Mrs. Brisby from the Secrets of Nim, Belle, Mulan, some characters from Arcane, the Studio Ghibli characters. Those would be great examples of strong female characters. However, if you want to see an example of a strong female character done poorly, look no further than He-Man, Master of the Universe Part 1. You thought Captain Marvel was cringeworthy? You thought Rey was cringe? That is nothing compared to Teela in the first part of He-Man, Master of the Universe Revelation. I reviewed it, and Critical Drinker reviewed it, and there's this one particularly stupid part where the woman Teela has to confront her deepest fear. It was really interesting at first, but then they say, oh, her biggest fear is like her own strength. She's afraid of her own strength, even though she's clearly displayed she's not afraid of using her own strength. It doesn't make any sense. And there's another scene where, like, oh my days, they even negate self-sacrifice, where He-Man says, hey, I died, and then, oh my days, Teela says, yeah, and the rest of us had to deal with it. You ungrateful little moron! He sacrificed his life, you ungrateful little female dog. Aspen Hotel is at least feminine. Oh, yeah. Reaper's been looking into Aspen Hotel. So feminine that men are female too. Aspen Hotel's got a lot of woke traits as well. And the Reaper's also been criticizing Aspen Hotel for what he calls like safe, edgy. And me and Brooks have certainly had our stuff to say about Aspen Hotel. Most notably with the admittedly arguably unrelated but still very alarming video about that Hideaway music video, which to this day is one of my most popular videos, and Brooks got me on that. And those were so good. Yeah, it's the Aspen Hotel. I mean, Brooks has expressed to me in the past that he was hoping the Aspen Hotel would be kind of a feel-good redemption kind of story, but we got that more from a show called Smiling Friends. Brooks showed me the show called Smiling Friends. I love it. I love Smiling Friends. And that show is exactly what what Brooks was wanting Aspen Hotel to be, but sadly it got carried away with a lot of storytelling inconsistencies, thematic that just keep repeating itself, and at times there's one particular part that YouTubers have pointed out where the show outright contradicts its own supposed morals that it's trying to preach. Like, for example, there's this character called like Angel Dust, and the show is raising awareness of the fact that sexual harassment is bad. Like, oh, okay, that's good. That's a good moral to teach. Sexual harassment is bad. Okay, that's great. But then like literally 2 episodes later, there is a joke which involves a character you're not supposed to like, who has this joke of like free sex for everyone. Then people drag him into this like strip room, and he gets sexually harassed without consent, as he's clearly going after saying free sex for everybody. I just think that is double standards right there. On the one hand, you're saying sexual harassment is bad, but then you have a joke about sexual harassment. You can't eat your cake and have it too, Vitsy Pop. Like, you absolute hypocrite. Like, what? Why would you do that? Like, that's a blatant contradiction, and it's such an immature approach to that kind of storytelling. Like the Berserk series handles sexual harassment much more maturely and much more shockingly than Hazbin Hotel does. Like, Vitsy Pop, have you even read the Berserk series? Read the Berserk series and tell me that sexual harassment joke was justified. So yeah, I've noticed that more and more YouTubers are taking a stance against the woke, and that would be too much for her. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that would be too much. Oh my dear. So yeah, I've noticed that so many, because I was introduced to people like Critical Drinker, like I've noticed more and more people have been taking a stance against the woke. In fact, it was that video I made about He-Man and Masters of the Universe Revelation. That was my first video where I explicitly went against the woke narrative and started talking against the woke. And I've been doing that ever since. And it seems I'm not alone in that kind of thinking, and many people have followed me because of that. So great. She would like those Twitter Berserk haters. Oh yeah, Vitsy Pop would undeniably be part of that crowd. Oh, but Vitsy Pop, I thought you were all for the endorsement of going against sexual harassment. I mean, Berserk does that kind of thing. Come on, it's that story's edgy. What's wrong with that? Huh? What's wrong? What's wrong? So not just myself, but I mean, during the time when I was not in a very mentally stable state of mind from like the circumstances of the pandemic, the heartbreak, and the intense anxiety I was saying, I managed to meet some new friends, and from those relationships, I managed to mentally heal over time. Because relationship helps you ground yourself and nurture helps to calm you down and get more to the heart, which makes you less in your head. And since you're less in your head, you get less anxious, because a lot of anxiety happens up here. But being grounded in here helps you to actually take a step. This is some profound stuff that Vitsy Pop, that's too... No! It's too easy! No! Even though I have the same subject matter! No! It's too itchy! Sorry, just a little side tangent based on Brooks's comment there. So yeah, during my state of anxiety, I thought not many people will be interested in my channel, but the fact that I've hit 1K subscribers now just proves that mentality wrong. There are people willing to listen. There is a vast majority of people who are getting sick and tired of the woke mentality, even other people who would mostly agree with some of the stuff the woke people have to say. I mean, most recently, people have been seeing how the woke mentality impacts and leeches off certain franchises, like with the Batman Arkham series. You see what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has done, or what would be another example, or Disney's Wish, which I reviewed like 5 months ago on my channel. Well, some of the woke mentality has affected its storytelling, even though Wish is not as overt. I mean, it's still there. And more and more people are yearning for good quality storytelling. And I cover those quality stories that people are looking for. You know what, the soccer mums, they were heroes. We just couldn't see it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In recent years, I've covered a good quality entertainment like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Top Gun Maverick, Vinland Saga, the Violet Evergarden series, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, and in other videos I've covered like Oppenheimer. Basically, the kind of quality entertainment that people have been looking for. And I even take my time to play video games that also uphold traditional values instead of going with the woke propaganda. I've been playing like the Plague Tale series. The finale of that series moved me to tears. I'm currently playing the Stellar Blade series. That's a lot of fun and upholds traditional female beauty, even if it gets over the top ridiculous at times. Hey, dude, congrats on finally reaching 1K subscribers. I know, Alec, right? I finally did it. And I've got like an hour and a half's worth of answering questions and stuff like that. Yay! And I've pretty much answered all the questions I needed to answer. I've also been playing Batman Arkham Knight and stuff like that. And I have every intention in my future videos to have endorse more content that would encourage people to think deeply. I've been doing that with like The Seventh Seal and Freud's Last Session. Brooks and I love that film. I know that film, Freud's Last Session, has had a very mediocre reception from the critics, but me and Brooks don't care. That Freud's Last Session was catered to me and Brooks. Sounds like an awesome stream, man. I just missed out on it. No. You'll you can either rewind all the way back to the beginning, just watch from there, or just like keep going from there. I'm probably gonna have to end it fairly soon. Brooks will be anticipating to talk to me at some point, but there's a lot of awesome stuff coming up, and I'm just so grateful for all your support. I was at a really low point mentally during 2021, 2022. But the fact that I've got 1K subscribers now, it proves my previous mentality wrong. And I've gotten in touch with so many new communities, not just with my friend Brooks Gallinghouse from Squidbear Studios, but also with Evan Prince and his band of merry men who just love video games as well as going to the gym a lot. As well as the community, albeit a smaller one, from Malika Wrights, Alchemical Alec. I don't know if you're familiar with Malika Wrights, but that's another community, if you will, that I've gotten myself affiliated with in recent years, and I'm all the more grateful for it because she's definitely a woman who's got brilliant insight into literary themes, also a diehard Tolkien fan, and also a Berserk fan, by the way. And she too is also not afraid of going against the woke crowd. Not quite familiar on her community. Well, I'll send you the link to her channel, and you'll be fascinated nonetheless. It's interesting to hear a woman like her address themes of femininity and masculinity, particularly on masculinity, and even she herself has noted the peculiarity that a woman is talking about masculinity. I suppose it's the same reason that Jordan Peterson would talk about femininity, I guess. But if you click the link there, you'll be sure to get to her content. It's really thought-provoking stuff. Like, Malika will even introduce certain themes and concepts that I hadn't even heard of before, like the concept of like the Fey realm, which according to her description is this realm of imagination where you can imagine yourself as whatever it is you want to be, but the cost of the Fey realm is that you don't make any actual progress in the real world because you're stuck in the Fey realm. She also addresses a lot of themes regarding masculinity and femininity throughout literacy, and particularly in Tolkien's writings. as well as in the traditional fairy tales from like the Brothers Grimm and other such writers. She addresses topics of masculinity, like again, Lord of the Rings stuff, as well as covering the Green Knight movie with that one guy from Slumdog Millionaire, as well as Hercules and Commodus. And she recommends some great books. I suppose, getting near the end of this video, I might as well take some time to promote some other YouTubers, because I want them to succeed too. There's my friend Brooks Gallinghouse, who you have a question? All right. Fey realms concept is fascinating. Oh yeah, love the idea. Oh, so you've heard of the idea too? All right. I have a question for you. What's the one project you're most excited for post 1K subs? Is there one that stands out to you, or one you really, really want to do? I guess that was relating to the question that Evan Prince asked earlier about, let's see, where's the channel headed? What kind of content? That's what Evan Prince asked me earlier. And to that I said, I haven't seen that question, I think. If you scroll up, you'll see Evan Prince's question there. But basically, I've got more reviews in mind, more pieces of entertainment I'd want to endorse in mind. And if I get the chance, more animations. And there's always something on the go. I never really stop doing stuff I get the chance. But it's definitely all worth it for the good cause, as it were. Hopefully I get to do animations again. Those are usually quite fun. Fairrealm is often related with Simula and Simicra. Okay, all right. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. My friend Brooks Gallinghouse, whom I will just recommend right now, in case you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, he's got a lot of insight into psychological terms. He and I have been talking one-on-one in video chats, and he's given me a lot of insight, given his insight into Jung and other stuff like that. And Brooks has been doing a lot of music videos, a lot of memes, a lot of shorts. He does that much more frequently and with better quality than me, I must say. He also does some video essays on like big philosophical themes, and he also does playthroughs with sci-fi games like the Cyberpunk series, which is quite fond of. Sounds great. I'm very excited for your upcoming content then, laddie. Absolutely, laddie. Might as well. Okay, so I've endorsed Malika's channel, endorsed Brooks's channel. Another channel I mean, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can just see close friends and recommendations. You'll find it right there. Character core narratives. Oh yeah, concept videos, core narratives. My friend Brooks also likes to make videos where he compares two different characters with very similar narratives. It's very fascinating stuff. I'm sure he'll tell you all about it in the comments, in the chat comments. Another like something out of Nolan. Yeah, something out of Nolan. Yeah, you did this clever thing with the Manhattan trilogy. You can tell him all about it. Also, the Discord. Oh yeah, the Discord server. You get the chance to go in there. My next channel another channel I'd like to recommend is Evan Prince. Evan Prince is someone I've got myself familiar with. He's been doing a lot of retrospectives on video games, as well as analyzing why certain characters are inspiring. He's very much into his heavy metal and is going to the gym. But other than that, he's very passionate about video games. He even goes on the podcast with another YouTuber, and I occasionally pop in the comments to say hello. Another YouTuber recommend. Oh yeah, Pilgrim's Pass. Yes, this is a very fascinating channel in regards to analyzing media, kind of from this from different like geopolitical perspectives, I guess, as well as themes of masculinity and femininity as well. Basically talking about like societal politics and how they impact a lot of the media, as well as themes of like masculinity, femininity. Very fascinating stuff if you get the chance to watch it. Other channels I'd recommend. The Ghost of Fascism. Yeah. He made a whole video about fascism. Very fascinating stuff. Other ones I'd recommend. I mean, there's Jarf. He's closely affiliated with Evan Prince. He makes a lot of music. Another YouTube channel I'd recommend if you get the chance to watch it. The Games Professor. Games is Lit 101. This is someone that he's given some great insights into video games as if they were artworks, and he's really influenced the way I analyze different bits of media, regardless of whether they be films, TV, or stuff like that. The Games Literature Professor, or Games Professor as he calls himself, made a series called Games Literature 101, and he's analyzed different video game stories as well as different aspects of video games, and talking about the strengths of interactivity as a storytelling medium. And he's very fascinating to listen to. He's made videos on stuff like BioShock, Shadow of the Colossus, Alan Wake, Spec Ops: The Line, Final Fantasy VII, Telltale's Walking Dead, Legend of Dragoon, the Halo 1, 2, and 3, Transistor, the first Portal game, Dust and Elysian Tale, basically talking about all the aspects that make these stories work from an interactive basis, and on occasion criticizing other video games solely on how their stories fail to tell the stories. And what I like about his channel is the emphasis on video game narratives more so than design. Of course, taking into consideration how video game design and interactivity affects the story as a whole. I'm glad you'll find that concept interesting. I tell you, like, if you just watch his Shadow of the Colossus video, which is like half an hour long, you'll be hooked with what this guy has to say about video games as an art form. Or even Dust and Elysian Tale analysis. With the Dust and Elysian Tale analysis, he makes a Hot Fuzz joke in there, which is quite funny. The greater good. Sands of Time being he'll talk about different subjects, and on occasion he'll also criticize other stories for failing to make use of their interactive quality with games like Metroid Other M and the Gears of War series. He does admire the Gears of War series to an extent, but he acknowledges that the Gears of War series is stuck between trying to take itself seriously but also having this macho man over the top identity to it. And he's heavily criticized Metroid Other M for failing to present a compelling story for Samus. So yeah, definitely worth the time if you want to think about stories on an artistic basis, and thinking creatively about the artistic potential of certain other things you wouldn't have thought before. Another channel I would recommend if you get the chance would be Academy of Ideas. If you want to get yourself familiar with the kind of philosophical subject matter that me and Brooks Gellinghouse from Squid Bear Studios are talking about, I would highly recommend you watch the videos from Academy of Ideas, because there's a lot of videos that covers very different kinds of thinkers and the impact they have on their societies and what the implications of their ideas. You'll get stuff like George Orwell, or like Friedrich Nietzsche, or Aldous Huxley, Carl Jung, Soren Kierkegaard, all their ideas on like psychology, life, the implication of religious ideology, mental well-being, society as a whole, existentialism, basically all the important topics, as well as all these themes that are deeply ingrained in our society, even though our society doesn't overtly talk about it. You'll find it on this channel, and all these videos are very fascinating to listen to. They do an excellent job at covering the respective topics, giving you the enlightenment to acknowledge the flaws in our society and how we can better society by confronting these problems head on rather than running and hiding, because because the woke crowd does not have a back spine these days. And the fact that my channel's got 1K subscribers means other people think similarly to me. Or like that channel, Academy by Days. Oh, you're familiar with that channel? Sweet, nice. Go watch the videos. Another oh yeah. I don't talk about this too often, and you probably know this already, but I'm actually autistic. Yeah, it's very low functioning autism, but autism nonetheless. I admittedly have not talked about autism too often, but I have talked about autism on occasion, like with some of the good Disney Plus shorts that I found, which covered autism, called like Loop and Float. Oh, you didn't know, actually. I thought you wouldn't have known. Funnily enough, when I was talking to my friend Malika, she was able to catch on to the fact that I was autistic due to the way I spoke and things like that. Yeah, most people probably wouldn't know I was autistic from a distance, but if you get to know me, basically, I have a tendency to ask questions, a lot of them, because I want things to be made clear. I also have very strong senses, and I can be a wee bit socially awkward. But if you want to understand autism, I mean, you can certainly look at my channel, but there's this channel here called Alex Lowery Speaks About Autism. This is a channel where he's even made a book. I even have the book. My earphones. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one. Alex Lowery. My bookmark. No! I lost my bookmark. I could tell I sail the same boat. I should have guessed it totally. Oh, you're autistic too? Oh, nice. Alex Lowery has made a book, and he describes himself as a gifted public speaker who's able to give remarkable insight on the autistic spectrum. So if you want to understand more about autism, yeah, definitely check out his channel. He's got a lot of fascinating insights. I've certainly raised awareness of autism in the past. Might as well put this book back now. If you get the chance to get this book, get this book. It's up there with like The Reason I Jump. Other stuff I'd recommend. Let's see. Of course, there's The Critical Drinker. But I am happy there's other people who seek to understand autism. Totally watch his videos. Absolutely. Like, so you have to find out if I have to read again. Of course, The Critical Drinker, a fellow Scotsman like me. This is some guy in his middle-aged guy from Fife. Something I find very interesting about The Drinker, which I didn't realize beforehand, is that the Critical Drinker himself is actually an author. He's actually written books prior to blowing up in popularity as being a YouTuber. His name's like Will Jordan, and he likes making thriller types of books. He's actually had military training, and he has a family of his own. And he holds to these very traditional values, like a lot of people do. And since and I find it, I want to mention the fact that he actually is an experienced writer, because it deeply impacts the way he critiques the woke media. Because Will Jordan, unlike most people, is actually had hands-on experience with actually making and publishing stories. So he actually has that insight on story structure, the beginning, middle, and end, setup and payoff. And he's even made videos describing how to write books and things like that. So he's definitely has the experience. Will Jordan often makes genuinely didn't know that he had so much experience writing stories. Absolutely. This is fascinating. It adds into how well he analyzes stories. Absolutely. So, judging by the way you're writing, Alec, I suspect you're already quite familiar with the Critical Drinker's way of reviewing stuff. I mean, myself and Brooks definitely grew up on YouTubers like Nostalgia Critic, John Tron. I would definitely recommend those channels too, because they're definitely hilarious. But Will Jordan's very unique in the way he approaches his reviews. His insight is very profound, and he also combines it with some very humorous takes. It's very rude, but at the same time, it still works to make his point clearer. I might as well just do some impersonations of him just for the sake of it. The other day, I was lying face flat in my local duck pond when two thoughts occurred to me. So just like Tatiana, we're going to have to go in hard and fast. Like stuff like that. I find it interesting that through that humor, he's successfully managed to popularize terms that are now used to mock the woke. Terms like the message. Your impression is so spot on. All right. So strong female character has no definitive character arc, and she manages to get away with some pretty immoral stuff, and she's like, nah, it'll be fine. Stuff off, film. You don't get away with that and pander to me. What else would I have done? Now imagine they've replaced your teddy bear with a large dildo. Wait, what? Wait, what with the accent? Yeah, what makes his videos fun, it's the same reason why you like good sitcoms like Allo Allo. He puts in reoccurring jokes, whether it be clips from other pieces of entertainment or things that he says, which makes his videos all the more fun. So by the time you hear certain lines, you can say along with them stuff like, nah, it'll be fine, or the message. Oh, yes! 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 Someone else knows about Hello Hello. Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah. Oh, give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Ready! What are you doing with that serving gun in your arms? You stupid woman! Can you not see that she's going faint and I have to address her? Hold on, wait a minute. Where's the book? Where is it? Oh, where is it? I have it somewhere. Oh my gosh, where is it? I have it. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Oh, check this out. Look what I got. Officer Crabtree's French Rose Park. Yeah, I got it. It's made by Arthur Bostrom himself. Yeah, he actually wrote the book in his character. Get me the onion soup. I'm reading your comments. Edith! Why does no one hear the cries of an old woman? Shut up, you old bat. So for those of you who don't know, Allo Allo is basically the sitcom that's based around Nazi-occupied France. Now you might think to yourself, oh, good gravy, Nazi-occupied France. How do you make that funny? Well, Allo Allo finds a way, and it's some of the most hysterical stuff you ever see. Basically, it's the kind of sitcom where it's a classic sitcom where it's one of the best sitcoms ever, and that they based it around World War II make it so much worse. It's actually based on a previous drama called Secret War. It's basically a parody of that, and they turned it into a sitcom. It's the kind of sitcom where anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and the situations involved in the things going wrong are absolutely outrageous. Like they'll have outrageous disguises, outrageous scenarios, outrageous ways of trying to hide certain things, and there's so many reoccurring gags. and every character has at least one reoccurring gag. It's brilliant. So one of the funniest characters is Officer Crabtree. He's a British policeman who disguises himself as a Frenchman. The way they portray language in the show, it's actually really clever. It's really clever. It's very theatrical. I've seen this sort of trick done in the theatrical adaptation of Warhorse, where they'll use different accents to portray the different languages, and give the audience the room for imagination to imagine the language barrier. So in the show, like, you'll have the French cafe owners are trying to hide two British airmen, but they can't understand a word they're saying. Pip. I cannot speak a word of the language. But then they'll have this one person, Michelle of the Resistance, who speaks both French and English. And the way she speaks English is, cheerio, dear chaps. Chaps and stuff like that. So she's one of the only people who speaks all the languages. So with that concept in mind, you have Crabtree, who is another character, and one of the few characters who speaks both English and French. But there's a problem. He speaks French very poorly. So instead of saying stuff like good morning, he'll say stuff like good morning. And he'll say like, have you had the nose, Ronnie? What nose? Kill him over in his kiffy. Here I must love you. Good lick to you all. And from this, you get some of the funniest stuff ever. Like, there's this one scene where the cafe owners are trying to set up this scenario where they're trying to cover for the British airmen, and they're trying to blame the Germans for something in such a way to keep the British airmen safe. The way Crabtree plays his part, I mean, if it wasn't for the scheme, he probably would be doing this sort of thing anyway. But he comes in after a gunshot, and he says, and I quote, "I was just pissing by the street when I heard two shots by the deer. You are holding in your hand a smoking goon. You are clearly the guilty potty." You are clearly the guilty potty. And there's other stuff like, why are you throwing stones at my window at night? Like, why are you throwing stones at my window at night? Or the long distance duck, which he refers to as the long distance dick. This show, despite being rated PG here in the UK, somehow gets away with so many sexual jokes. You know, another really funny character from that show is, funnily enough, a Gestapo man, Air Flick. And you think, how on earth do you make a Gestapo funny? Well, again, Allo finds a way. Honestly, Air Flick is one of the funniest villains I've ever seen. Like, up there with like Yzma and Kronk, or like the bowler hat guy, or Professor Fate from The Great Race. Like, he is so hilarious. Regardless, he lived into his lack of humor about the ridiculous nonsense he does. Yeah, that's the thing. You think, in face value, Air Flick is a very straight-faced, very no-nonsense kind of Gestapo person. They think, well, what's so funny about that? He takes his job too seriously. So whenever he asks his assistant Helga to kiss him, you may kiss me now, Helga. Like, this face, even when he's being kissed, he keeps the same face. So like, she's giving a passionate kiss, but he's keeping the face like, it's just so funny. Or one time he decides, I'm gonna go out to like some Gestapo fashion party, and he unashamedly is wearing like ladies' underwear, and he doesn't even flinch. He's like, and then he'll get up in the most ridiculous ridiculous, absurd disguises, like dressing up as a French resistance lady. Same expression. I think the German journal asks about that. But he has various ways to get around that with like guns and threats and things like that. Not to mention, he has a very funny sidekick, von Schmollhausen, who is not as smart as he is, so he ends up bumping him on the head. Going to the fanfare flick? No, bonk. He's got a lot of sexual tension with Helga at times. Oh man, there's just so many funny moments with their flick. But the way he just gets all the attention. Dude, how do you remember that so flawlessly, so amazing? Finally. If you watch the show long enough, you get familiar with the patterns and the reoccurring jokes. There's another joke where Air Flick is watching a ridiculous situation from afar, which involves something exploding in like a coffin. And with his big binoculars, he goes, "That was most amusing." And then some bits of debris and ground fall on him, and then him with the same straight face goes, "That was not quite so amusing." And you can see the actress playing Helga is trying her best not to laugh. I haven't been able to find it after the full series taken down from YouTube. Oh, well, I got the full series on like DVD. I have no clue where to watch it now. Hold on a bit. Something I find quite odd about the series that I got on the DVD is that the Christmas special. Hold on a minute. Something I find quite interesting about something odd about this about the Alolo series is that for whatever reason, this specific DVD collection, I don't know about other DVD collections, but this DVD collection has this Christmas special, which is the very last episode, but there's a problem. This Christmas special, from what I can see in the chronology, is meant to be set during some time before the actual finale of the show. So it makes things very confusing because even though you could enjoy the episode on an episodic basis, it's still fairly serialized, and it manages to interweave a complex plot in amongst all the insanity. So that was kind of odd, but hey, oh, there you go. Anyway, I was talking about YouTubers, and we got carried away talking about Allo Allo, one of the best sitcoms ever made. Oh yeah. Here's another YouTuber I'd recommend. Dave Cullen. This is another YouTuber who's not afraid of talking against the woke crowd. He comes from Ireland. He's very Irish, and he talks a lot about science fiction media. And he's talked against the woke crowd a lot, and bringing a lot of common sense to the way he does things. And he's fairly straightforward, and I've got to admire him for it. Yeah, do check out Dave Cullen if you get the chance. There's let's see, Animation. Oh, I'm sorry for diverging you from the side tangent. Yeah, I had to talk about Allo. I had to raise awareness of it. Irish. And if you bring up Allo again on this live stream, you will be shot. We ask the questions. Oh, sorry for that. Irish and Against the Modern Woke Nonsense. Subscribing right now. There you go. I suppose, actually, speaking of Irish and Against the Woke crowd, there's also Reaper. Although Reaper may be Welsh. He may be, but I think he's Irish. I could do an impression of Reaper.
Castlevania Nocturne sucks ass. It takes all the worst aspects of Castlevania seasons 3 and 4 and maximizes them to a lot. But don't you bother critiquing this one slave character? Their problems are not as big as hers, because at least they weren't a slave like hers. Wow, it's not as if the show belligerently tells us that throughout the entire show.
Or Reaper just uploaded the video on Velma. Yeah, I saw that video on Velma. Oh, see, you better watch out with the Reaper. Reaper is very, very blunt when it comes to the way he not only reviews, but also the way he edits. Like, Reaper doesn't even have a fancy introduction or a fancy outro. Like, he goes right in, he says what's on his mind, he doesn't hold back, and then if he considers the media really bad, he will bluntly end the video with a clip of some guy saying, and please forgive my language, "'tis a piece of shit." And then it ends. He's very blunt. Yeah, never, ever watch Velma. It's a waste of time. And he'll even say it so himself. Another channel I'd recommend, Animation. I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell shite. Forgive my language. Animation. This is a character who's also Irish. What's with the Irish people who analyze Animation analyzes several animated media and talks about the strengths of the visual mediums. Very interesting subject matter. He doesn't make too many videos. He rarely even makes them, but for the ones he has made, they're very fascinating on the potential what animation's capable of. Let's see, other YouTubers I recommend. This one you may have heard of or you may not have. Jonathan Pajot. This is a French-Canadian Orthodox icon carver, and he analyzes visual symbols and as well as symbols from a lot of the culture around us, and he'll apply it in very fascinating ways. He always finds a way to associate what he analyzes to patterns. I find it very interesting that Jonathan Pajot breaks down everything he analyzes, whether it be books or films or the theology he's trying to promote. He breaks all of it down into patterns, and that's very fascinating to me. If you get the chance, hear what he has to say, and it'll open your eyes, because when you get into analytical thinking, you'll definitely start to recognize patterns yourself. Whether it could be good patterns or it could be bad patterns. Another channel I would recommend. Symbolism is a fascinating thing to look into. Absolutely, Carl Jung is a favorite researcher of mine on this topic, and it's also super useful for dissecting elderly doctors. Exactly. If you get familiar with the patterns and the symbolism, you'll be far better able to properly analyze a lot of media in their rightful contexts. It could be a wide range. It could be superheroes. It could be video games. It could be like manga, just a whole bunch. The more you get yourself familiar with the philosophical and psychological terms, the more you'll be able to get a deeper insight into these kind of stories. Yeah, noticing patterns across religion is called phenomenology. All right, nice. I'll need to look into that. But I think I might as well get started right now. Phenomenon. 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 A book I failed to mention in my previous live stream. My friend Brooks Gallinghouse encouraged me to read this book. Buddhism is not what you think it is. Fun fact, you think it endorses reincarnation. That was actually not in the original Buddhism, according to from what I recall from that book. Buddhism is about accepting for what it is. But anyway, that's another topic for another time. But yeah, definitely, I would encourage my viewers, get yourself familiar with religion. Like, I've associated myself with previous group of friends who were very uncomfortable with delving into the deeper themes of like religion and what it implies for the media. But I encourage it because it's really going to open your eyes to the deep thematics of all these different stories and what these authors are trying to come across, and the other themes that authors may not have intended to provoke, but nevertheless come up anyway, because as Jonathan Pajot says, certain patterns are inevitable. Right? Religion is so important, even if you don't believe. Sorry, had a weird coffee gunk moment. Religion is so important, even if you don't believe in religion. Here's an unpopular opinion, Alec, but given me, I'm not afraid of unpopular opinions. I think everyone is religious. Like, here's the thing. You don't have to believe in something supernatural to be religious. Like, you are a religious being. Well, I feel you. When I talk too much, I get a bit coffee, don't you? I've had that experience with reading the Asterix comics. Everyone is a religious being, like even these secular people, because these secular people also have a narrative on how the universe came into existence. They also have their ideas on how we ought to treat life, how we ought to view life. They also have their mythos. They also have their account of how things came to be and what that implies for us. Every worldview, hey, Tekken Combat, hey, every worldview has their own origin, meaning, morality, and destiny. All of them, without exception. Even if there's a lack of meaning, it's there. It's absolutely there. And there's these secularists who say, oh, well, I don't really believe in anything. We're celebrating 1K subscribers, Tekken Combat. Yeah. So these secularists, they make the mistake of saying, oh, I don't really believe in anything. Well, actually, you do believe in something. yeah, you believe that. Yeah, exactly. It requires faith. Yeah, I mean, every worldview requires faith. It all requires faith. Like this is actually something that Kierkegaard is trying to help us to understand. The idea that thousands of years of human wisdom is reducible to nothing requires faith. That requires faith too. Like the idea that simple blobs could make us come into being, even though our DNA is vastly, overwhelmingly complex. Like one strand of DNA is long enough and complex enough to reach the moon and back several times. It's longer than the Encyclopedia Britannica. Like, that's a lot of information. Like, it takes a lot of faith to just dismiss that. Like, it's like these secularists, they reduce things too much. There will be, it's too simplistic. It kind of robs people of the richness of life as well as the innate value of people. And I tried bringing this up with my previous friends, but they seem really comfortable with it. But thankfully, with people like you and the approximate 1K people I've been able to reach into, this again, tomorrow's fall, guys. Maybe I can't guarantee it. But with the approximate 1K followers I've been able to acquire, it seems that you guys actually are interested in what I have to say. Either that, or you're just addicted to my Fall Guys gameplay sessions. Yeah, every single human being, I'd say, is at least 3,000 years old of history, constantly. Yeah, depending on how you view that. I mean, micro, macro, societal, whatever. Might as well give a shout out to this guy. This guy doesn't really delve into like the deep thematics. He's just an artist. It's kind of an insult to say he's just an insert, but yeah, he's a Canadian artist and he's a cartoonist, and I'm friends with him on Instagram. Might as well give him a follow. Another channel I recommend, my friend Peter McPherson. Peter McPherson is the local music boy here in Inverness and all around Scotland. He's been touring around and really talented singer and pianist who's covered a lot of songs. And he's very talented in singing in Gaelic, which is the local language of Scotland. Peter McPherson doesn't really go into like the deep thematics or anything like that. I am. He's just a talented singer and he's a good friend of mine. So I was like, you know what? I might as well just give a shout to him. Oh, he sings Gaelic. Yeah. So people, if you want to hear the Gaelic language in use, just check out his channel. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I guess that's all. I mean, I could sit here all day and endorse other channels. I'll let you explore for yourself. I mean, I could endorse like the Explanations channel, the Daniel Apologetics channel, the Epic Voice Guy, Pung, Jarf. I mean, I could go on all day, but we'd be here all day. So I think that's all I need to mention. Is it pronounced Gallic or Gallic? Well, a lot of people, I've noticed in other countries that it's pronounced as Gaelic, but here in Scotland it's pronounced as Gallic. So, yeah. Hello, JDP. How are you? Good to know you're in fine condition, young man. Yes. All right. So I guess that's everything I want to cover. I got a friend of mine who's let's see. My friend is probably not even online anymore. Are you still online? My live stream went longer than expected. Lol. Oh well. So we finally did it. Yeah, I finally did it, Lemon. I finally did it, and I just dedicated the last 2 hours and almost 17 minutes worth of video just to answer your guys' questions and to cover different topics. And I suppose looking back now, not just the popular videos that I mentioned previously, but also my decision to get more involved with live streaming. It's been really fun because it's got me in touch with you guys, as well as getting us close and close one-on-one, and you get to be a part of it. It could be the start of something new. Thanks so much for this brilliant stream. It turned 2 a.m. as I watched it, and yet regret not a single moment spent with you. Yeah. I stay up late too for my American audience, but that might change in the future. But still, it's something I appreciate. Yeah. There's other stuff I would recommend, other stuff I want to talk about, but I think I'll just save that for another time. I think what you need to know is that I've overcome a lot. I've been through really hard, stressful times. I was not in a mentally healthy condition during 2021, 2022, but I've heard it said that once you reach rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. I don't stay up late. This is significant. All right, I'll let you go to bed, Alec. I'm going to wrap up soon. All right. I love it. Be right there soon. I'm wrapping. I'm trying to do several things at once. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any other questions or things like that, I'm sure maybe put them in the comments below or something like that. But yeah, do check out the channels I recommended to you. And if you haven't, I suppose spreading the word of this channel would certainly help, because I'm all in for endorsing animation and good quality stories as works of art, and I want to bring people to divine virtues. And I'm trying to affiliate myself with other channels that think likewise, and thankfully there's an increasing number of people who are becoming more aware of this kind of mentality, certainly returning to this sort of thing, and certainly more people realizing the significance of Eastern storytelling, as well as the fact that more and more people are transitioning from normie to being aware of all this. So we need less normies. Go spread the word of the normies so that they become normies no more. All right. Talk to you all later. God bless every single one of you. Good night, everybody. Where does that tune come from? Does anyone know where that tune comes from? That's not Looney Tunes. That's not Looney Tunes. Where is that from again? I don't know. I'm sure someone will correct me if they even bother to do so. Here I must love you. Good lick to you all. Oh, I brought up hello, hello. Oops. I best end it.